Hey everybody, it's Emily here from Phoenix Gateway, and I'm here to have a chat and do a reading for this week. I'm not going to do it as I would normally do as a weekly read because we're on Wednesday, and I did do this last week, I think on a Wednesday, but I've been thrown out a little bit on my weeks because I've had to help my daughter out more with my granddaughter, who is an absolute joy to have, but it's been taking up a lot of my time. And I find when I finally get my day to myself, I just need to collapse a little bit and have a little nana nap, and also catch up with webinars and other things that I haven't done because I'm too busy chasing around this beautiful little star seed that, as I said, just gives me the utmost joy. So I was watching a webinar this morning, and it is a Michael Salla webinar. His website is exopolitics.org, and I'll put the link down below. Here, the webinar that I paid for, and I highly recommend anyone wanting some alternative information or to see things from a different light, actually, where he, there was such a knowledgeable man and does all his research, so where he's bringing in all aspects of what his topic is about. And this one is the prophesied second coming, and it was fabulous, really, really, really good. So I thought, it made me sit and think about a number of things in terms of doing a reading. And yes, I will be reading from my Sacred Geometry Healing cards. These are available on my website. Anyone that buys from me, I will personally sign, www.phoenixgateway.com.au, or they are available from stockists all around the world, anywhere from Barnes and Nobles to Amazon, and also private retailers as well. So what I wanted to, so I found myself really connecting in, and just, food for thought, and thinking about my own work and what I've achieved and accomplished, which is a lot, and it's time to really bring it out more and more and more, because I feel people are more and more ready for the work that I've created and knowing it from another perspective. So I wanted to, rather than do just a weekly read, I wanted the name of this reading will be is Reconnecting to Our Higher Self. And I do speak a lot about reconnecting to self, reconnecting to our higher self, when we go into and connect within, we're connecting into the GPS of our soul, okay? And that is our intuition. It is about, what I find, and when I first heard the words, I was actually listening to Alex Collier quite some time ago, and he made a comment, when you are really stuck or not sure where you're meant to be or what you're meant to be doing at this point in time, call upon your higher self, call upon your future self, because, when we look at where we're at, and now, we are on this one timeline, we are the past, we are the present, we are the future, and it's all intertwined together. And I started thinking about, sacred geometry, and sacred geometry, sacred geometry are the fundamental building blocks of all creation. But it is as above, so below. It is as within, so without. It is the soul. It is the universe. It is our past, our present, our future. It is fractal. It is everywhere. It is everything. And we can access and work with sacred geometry, for our highest good, for helping us to reconnect to our higher self. And when watching the prophesized second coming with Michael Salla today, what was beautiful and how he spoke of it is, what if, or maybe we need to look at the second coming as an activation of consciousness, the activation of our higher self. It's, being able to go into our past lives. It is being able to access different, different aspects of who we are that we have actually brought in also into our present, but it's also an aspect of our future. And everything that we are doing is part of our awakening process. And, really, as, how he's saying it today, the second coming is really the awakening of consciousness. It is that self-actualization. It is knowing who we are, where, who we are and who we are becoming, because yes, we are here to learn. We are here to create massive shifts within ourselves. We are here to leave our blueprint, our footprint, to also not only help ourselves, but also to help others. We are born, our soul is, for example, unconditional love. But even though it is unconditional love, we still have to learn other aspects of love. It's understanding self-love. It's understanding the love of a partner. It's understanding the love of a child, understanding love of a parent. It's also understanding, we also have to understand everything has its dual, and then there's polarity. It's finding that common ground, that degree in which we can operate and work within that balance within life. But we have to still learn the duality of so many things, because, there are things, there is light and there is dark, but there is color. And we find that color within the aspects of everything that we are here to learn. So, another interesting thing, for example, is, when we look at numerology, and I think many of us, like those who are watching this anyway, are going to be very aware, when we are, when there are signs for us to be looking at, we can get them in terms of numbers. Now, all week, this past 7 days, I keep getting the numbers 1221 or 212, sometimes 1212, but most of the time they're also palindromic, which means that they're the same forward as they are backwards. They read the same both ways. And there are specific messages in there. And this is where you can go and look it up, because you can go, okay, well, why do I keep being shown all of this information? What is it that I need to be more aware of? What is the universe? What is my higher self? What is my future self trying to teach me at this point in time? And so one of the other things that I was, apart from the numbers, that I was, starting to look at, and maybe it's not going off track, but, when I look at sacred geometry, and Eleanor Denham was talking about her New Cedars book with Michael Salla, which I'll also put that link, because it's a fabulous interview, again, to be watching. And, she speaks of there being the 24 cedar races. So we are actually a culmination of 24 different cedar races. And then the other thing, apart from her actually meeting up with Enki, and Enki talking to her about bringing back the Grail, she speaks of the Council of Nine. And it got me thinking on a couple of levels. So one, when you look at the emerald tablets and you look at Thoth, I've just got it written here. In the emerald tablets, Thoth actually talks about the 9 as being the masters of men. You actually see the 9 written throughout the emerald tablets. And I think that is, a massive correlation there. The 9 can also be specific more to a few other things. But the other thing that was, which I thought was really interesting is I started thinking about the Fibonacci sequence. Okay, so the Fibonacci sequence has a sequence of 24 numbers. But when you look at its code equals a 9. And again, what's very interesting when we look at binary numbers, binary sequence is a 6 and its code is a 9. So you're then again working with the 3 6s and 9 as well. But it just gets you seeing how numerology, it just gets you seeing how when we start becoming more aware of things around us, we can start seeing things in a different light. And, when we start, where thought goes, energy flows, okay? So coming back to what is it we're here to create? What is it we're here to do? And what we're looking at is if we're here to reconnect to ourselves, to our higher self, and have that self-actualization, that inner knowing, that aha, what are we doing? We are expanding our level of consciousness, which is awareness, but we're expanding frequency. Now, when we're doing that on an individual scale, but every one of us starts to do it because we have this awakening moment of pure awareness, what is happening then on a global scale? As above, so below. This is all, part of the Hermetic principles of life, which is also, related to Thoth. And it's just, it's really mind-blowing. And I've just, it's such a positive feeling to think, what? This is where, yes, I do find myself, because I am human and I'm here to have a human experience, a soul having a human experience. I am a part of what is going on right now, in this world, but beyond this world as well. And I allow myself to have that human experience and feel the certain emotions, because I was put on this earth to have that experience. But I'm also at a point in my life where I know I can rise above these experiences and I can see it from a whole different perspective. And it's interesting because, I haven't shuffled the cards, but the bottom of the deck is surrender. Okay. Interesting enough, they are the cards actually from, I think, the last reading I did. But this is the bottom of the deck, so it's still as important last week as it is today. This is the hypercube or the tesseract, when, the netting of this is actually 8 cubes, okay? These 8 cubes can be put in 261 different positions. And you've got the 2, the 6, and the 1, which equals a 9. 2 plus 6 plus 1 is a 9, okay? So when you look at that, what you're saying to yourself is, when you surrender to a situation that you can't control, you are opening up all these different doorways to create a different outcome. And it becomes a choice on how you do create that outcome, because you have more control, because you've let go of the aspect that you can't. But then you go, I can open it up to something more amazing coming in, because you've allowed yourself to open up all these different pathways. So I wanted to have that chat, and it's probably gone a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I just really think it's food for thought. I think it's really beautiful. And on that note, I am going to pull some cards. I'm just going to pull some cards to see what comes, if the cards align as well with, what I've been saying for this topic today. So let's see. Like, I feel the fruit of life should come through, because I feel not only is it about introspection, about, work on our aspects of self, but it's also about what we're here to learn and what we're here to learn from others. So let's see. Okay. The first card actually to come through is the 417. The 417 is all about trauma. It's about releasing trauma. So what this is saying, and it's interesting, if we were to take it, I believe Mercury goes retrograde on Mercury goes forward on Sunday, being the 2nd. So that already, it may be that this past month has brought up some traumatic experience for you. And it's saying, as we're coming into also a new moon in Libra and creating the balance for ourselves, it's about, okay, what are we here to release? What do we no longer need to hold on to at this point of time? What don't we need to hold on to as we're going through this shift in consciousness, as we're here to raise our vibration and become more self-aware? What is it that we need to let go of so that we are not being held back by any of our experiences of the past? What have you already dealt with? What have you, can you now lay it to rest? And when it comes to trauma, it's very personalized, and one person's trauma is going to be very different to the next. But if we can release it and create forgiveness around it, doesn't mean we have to forget about it. It's about letting it go so that we can free up energy to do other things. All right. And it may feel that your foundations are feeling a little rocky at the moment. You might be feeling that it could be, leading on for this. Interestingly enough, it's like going through a bit of a dark night of the soul, because you're feeling the grounds are a little bit shaky. When we're looking things also on a global scale, things have been really shitty for a couple of years now in particular. And more as we're starting to see so much more disclosure coming out, and people are really questioning what the hell is going on. The last 2 years in itself, on a global level, has been traumatic for many people, because it has really rocked your world. It has rocked the very existence of who you are. It is making you stop. It is making you look and go, what the fuck, really? Where am I meant to be? What have I missed? What have I been asleep to? What do I need to awaken to? And that's pretty cool in itself at the end of the day, when you can, get that bird's eye view of what it is you're here to release. And as we go through that aspect of dark night of the soul for, every individually, and what it is, when we come from the dark to light. And that's why I think the Blue Lotus for me has also been so imperative, because it gives you more an understanding. It's more about being able, it creates calm, especially when you're feeling anxious. But, you think about a lotus, it's got to come from the waters, the darkness of the soil, the dirt, and being birthed into the water, the nun, into, something magnificent, into the light. So this is really where we're at right now, each one of us, for our own reasons, and working out, who we are and where we're meant to be. Okay. Let's get one more card. Yeah. I think right now I'd like to read this on a couple of levels. One is this is fulfillment. This is knowing that we are all one. We are all connected. And this is what we're finding out more and more and more right now. what we're also finding out is more and more disclosure. What we're also understanding is these seed erasers are now back in our solar system, and they are here because, you know, from what I listen when I listen to the likes of Eleanor Duran, Alex Collier, Michael Salla, and others, you know, humanity has awakened to such an extent that this, you know, is what is coming forth. You know, they are here now to assist as we go through these this awakening process, okay, this level of consciousness. But it's also knowing that we are all one, and what creates that acceptance and that oneness is love. Love is one of the highest frequencies we can work with, and unconditional love is what we are here to experience, or we know it, but it's actually to bring it out and understand that this is what it is all about. I'm actually going to leave it there, but with the bottom of the deck, the fruit didn't come out, but the flower is there. The flower of life is the most sacred of all geometry, in the fact that these two outer concentric circles, when you actually remove those circles, all the secrets of the universe are here to be exposed and to be discovered or rediscovered. It's knowing that all we need is already innate within us. But this is telling us we are getting closer and closer and closer to disclosure. This is gestational period, and I can't tell you when it's going to be, whether it's going to be 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, okay? Because it changes all the time, and it doesn't matter when, because we're here to do the work on ourselves. So when the rest comes, it will come. But this is knowing this is here to go into full bloom, the cocoon into the butterfly, okay? And all the secrets of the universe are here to be seen, for everyone to learn and to acknowledge. So wherever you are, have a beautiful week. I will be back to chat again. And yeah, if you have any questions whatsoever, I'm more than happy to chat. And Emily@phoenixgateway.com.au, my website www.phoenixgateway.com.au. My cards, as I said, they are available on my website, as well as working with my high vibrational elixirs, lab, or liquid alchemy in a bottle, which are alchemical frequencies to nurture, balance, and heal the mind, body, and soul. And they work really beautifully. Okay, have a beautiful week wherever you are. Nurture yourself on every level. Okay, bye for now.